Hello, it's Joyful Hermit. I haven't done a video blog for about over 2 years now, but in a new phase. I did get off Patmos. I was able, God allowed me to finish the house I had to gut, the Hermitage, and was down to my last $600 of borrowed money, and even had to borrow a little more until the closing, but got it sold, relocated, just trying to settle into a new Hermitage now. And I know that I had much help from my guardian angel and other angels while doing that very, very heavy work. Also had an accident, a head injury last July, but survived it. Neurosurgeon said miraculous. I didn't have a neck broken or wasn't dead, no bones broken, and even a nurse there said you must have a very powerful guardian angel who got you out of your house, out the gate, up the road for someone to find you, because I was unconscious all that time. No recollection until someone found me and got me on the ground. They saw me out there wandering, covered in blood. Anyway, that introduces me to today's topic, which is guardian angel, and how I found out that I had a guardian angel, because I was in great doubt about that. About 1995, I converted to Catholicism, and I'd heard of angels before, 44 years of Protestant, but they weren't as in vogue then as today, even among all religions. Well, at least I know about the Protestant in the area in which I lived. But becoming Catholic, I would hear people talk about their guardian angels, and one older woman talked about, oh yes, and she named her angel such and so, and talked to her every day, and it was just a little bit much for me right then. I had just converted. I had been doing a lot of reading and had private instruction by a priest for a few months, and had been doing a lot of reading, but more reading of other topics. And so I was a little taken aback, and I thought, why would you name your angel? That even seemed a little bit off. I always thought, I always want God, everything to be coming from God, or that I know, nothing that I'm involved with, not my imagination, not my this or my that, my will, no, God. So then about the same time, though, the parish secretary's husband was homebound. He had had some diabetic problems and had had 2 amputations, wheelchair bound. And she says, I have constant pain, which I've mentioned in other blogs of the past, with suffering. But on days that I felt better, she said, well, why don't you go visit Bob? He'd love company. And I loved going to visit Bob. He had been a editor at Our Sunday Visitor, a major Catholic publishing company, and I loved absorbing, hearing anything he had to say about Catholicism. But he also then at times would talk about his guardian angel and how his guardian angel had helped him with this or that. And some of the things that his guardian angel had helped him with, and I really trusted Bob because he was very intelligent, sort of intellectual even, and grounded human being, and older man, and he had credibility with me. But his angel at one point, had to get upstairs or downstairs, whatever. And of course, Bob without 2 legs, but his angel, he said, literally lifted him up under the arms, step by step by step. And another time he had wanted to watch videos back when we had the VCRs in 95. And one of them had fallen back behind where he couldn't reach it, and his angel got it for him. And he said his angel's name was Angus. And I said, well, now how do you know? And well, he hadn't named his angel. He says, I just know deep within that that's my angel's name. I can't tell you how I know. So, I'm sort of mulling these things over, but still, not there as far as I was concerned. Um, but it was in the fall of 95, and it was a Monday morning, sort of drizzly. And my two daughters were both off to college, and my son had just left for school. Maybe it's about 8:30, 20 till 9 in the morning. And I was cleaning up. I had made some chocolate chip cookies, and I'd had some left. I had some for my son, and I don't know if I mailed some to my daughters or gave some others away. But I had two little leftover cookie plates, paper plates with saran wrap over two batches of about 7 cookies each or something, sitting on the counter and sort of talking to God. Well, who do you want me to give these to today, these 2 extra plates of cookies? And I said, well, we'll find out. We'll find out. I sort of like to talk to God. It's in my mind, but sometimes aloud if I'm alone. But I was cleaning up also, and was wanting to put away some Tupperware and different bake pans in this big, deep drawer that was underneath the oven, the wall oven. And the drawer got stuck. It wouldn't go in, it wouldn't budge out. It was more increasingly frustrating because I'd already had awakened with too much pain, and I'm sure the drizzly weather wasn't helping. So I became increasingly frustrated, and I stood by the kitchen sink and just looked up out the window and said, okay, if I have a guardian angel, then for pity's sakes, help me. I need help. Calmed myself a little bit, and I went to the phone, looked up the name of the man who had custom built those cabinets few years before, maybe 4 years before, installed them, and left a message for him. I thought, well, maybe he can come and figure this out. And that took maybe 2 or 3 minutes max. He went home, left a message. I hear this knock at the door. Well, my kitchen was lengthwise, and there was this angled laundry hallway that went back to an interior service door to the garage, the two-car garage, 2.5-car garage. To the left of that interior service door to the garage was an exterior service door, but that always was kept locked. Outside on that side of the garage was a kennel where we kept our little beagle, Cheerio, who would always bark if there was anybody around. And so anyway, I wasn't quite putting things together, but I always have a headache too, always, ever since my back surgeries years ago and the car accident. But I thought, well, who would be knocking at the door, this back door from the garage? So I opened it up. Probably shouldn't have, but I wasn't, like I said, wasn't putting things together. And there stood 2 men, sort of balding. One was whitish hair, but balding. Not very tall, maybe 5'6", or 5'7", just sort of, no, I think even shorter than me. I'm about 5'8". And they were sort of stocky, and they were dressed in these all white overalls, these like service uniforms, but all white and clean, sparkling white. And they said, you called, you need help. Or no, they just said, you called? And I said, well, what? No. And they said, well, your door isn't working. And I said, well, no. I mean, I don't have a door that's not working. And I thought, well, garage door. I turned around and pushed the button. Garage door goes smoothly up, as always. Nothing wrong with it. I said, no, nothing wrong with the garage door. And they sort of like seemed very quizzical and, wondering what is this, and thinking. And so they opened up this little pad, this little service pad, and they said, well, and they gave my last name. This is your last name and your address. I said, well, yes. And they said, well, we received that you needed help. And I said, well, could I see that? And I looked at it. Sure enough, my name and address, and then I looked at the first name, and it was Beth. And I said, well, no, this isn't me. I'm not Beth. And it struck me because, I have a daughter named Elizabeth, but I never called her Beth, never wanted her to be called Beth. It just wasn't a nickname that I would have chosen or whatever. So they, seemed like, well, whatever. And as when I'd opened the door too, I see this white service van out there, just pure white service van in the driveway. But they started to leave. They closed the little book and started to leave. And I said, door. I said, no, drawer. I need help with my drawer. I've got a drawer that's stuck. And I said, oh, by the kindness of your hearts, could you please come in? And even just if you could pull it out from the opening, because I can't get it to budge either way, then I can at least have it out and try to see if there's something I can do, or just wait till the man who did the cabinets might call me back and could come and fix it. And so they looked at each other and sort of nodded, and they came in, and one of them got down on the floor and gave the drawer a pull, and it just came right out. And I said, oh, thank you so much. That's fine. That's all I needed. But he looked down in under the opening. It was quite a big drawer, deep and tall. And so he said, oh, this wasn't put in at all right. This wasn't even installed properly. He says, we can fix this. And I said, oh, well, no, And they said, no, we want to. And so they took the whole thing apart, rails out, the drawer apart, got it all put back together, back installed, running smoothly. It took maybe they came in around 20 till 9 in the morning. It was, close to 10 before they were finished. And they stood up and prepared to leave. And I said, oh, I want to pay you. I want to pay you something. And oh, no, we don't want any pay. We don't want anything. We don't need anything. Just happy we could help. And I glanced over and saw those 2 plates of cookies on the counter. And I said, would you at least take a plate of cookies each? Just bake them. And, if you would just please take those even. And, oh, they just beamed. Oh, yes, we'd love those cookies. And they just walked out like, 2 happy schoolboys or something. And as they left, I closed the garage. I thanked them again profusely and closed the garage door. And I checked that service door, though, because I thought, how did they get in here? It's locked. I get back inside, and the enormity of it just all hits me. This has been a supernatural experience. And it just dawned on me, I have a guardian angel. Those were angels who came to help me. And just even their outfits and everything, and these little old men. And, if they'd probably been younger, I wouldn't have let them in or something, because I was young then myself. And, but it just, the enormity of it hit me. And then I thought, Beth, I knew that was my guardian angel's name. I just knew it. But I thought, what does Beth mean? Why Beth? So I called this professor at a local college, now a university, who was an expert and taught Hebrew. And I got right through to him. And I said, what does the name Beth mean in Hebrew? Because I knew it was Hebrew, because Old Testament, Beth El, Beth Israel. And so he said, well, it's a noun, and it means house or a place of God. God is in this place. Excuse me. And he said it's a noun. And it's a masculine noun, and I was taking all this in, it's still on adrenaline, hung up, literally had to go back to my bedroom and lay down on the bed, just trying to collect myself, because it was such a powerful morning and experience. And while I was lying there, I was thinking through Beth also, and realized that would never have been a name I would have chosen for my angel. I didn't choose it for my daughter. And then I realized, well, Beth is a feminine name in our usage for names, but yet in Hebrew it's a masculine noun, and that even made sense, because angels really are not male nor female. but they can manifest to us in whatever will not alarm us or that we'll be comfortable with, or else also what God chooses them, like Saint Michael, Saint Gabriel, Saint Raphael are more, large, and archangels, masculine looking, etc. In drawings, or as people have had them visit them or manifest to them, appear in corporeal form, as in bodily form. So anyway, I thought through that, and then I realized just how rude I had been to my angel, but also to God, doubting, how little faith and stubborn, that I needed it to, have it proven to me, even the names, and that if they had a name or not. And I apologized to God, heartfelt, and to my angel, and asked God to help me and my angel, to get to know my angel and to be aware of my angel and to thank my angel. And it was overpowering, and I even called Bob's wife. I didn't disturb Bob, but she was at work, but able to answer, and I told her what had happened, and asked her to even tell one of the priests what had happened, because I had mentioned to this priest that I just hadn't accepted the angel bit yet either. But anyway, it was something, and I've been reminded of this more and more. Just over time, I've had other experiences in which my angel has come to me in dreams. Usually, whenever my angel has had to come in a form, in a dream, in a corporeal form, and verbalize with me in a locution, it's because I'm not paying attention, and I need a directive chastisement one time, another time that he was leading me to a major event in my spiritual life, and prepared me for that. And then, of course, on Patmos, when I was receiving so much help, and just in many, many ways. And then I started reading more about guardian angels, and of course, St. Padre Pio would always say, send me your guardian, if you need help, send your guardian angel to my guardian angel. And so I try to do that. And even though there are people in my life, many people who do not believe they have a guardian angel, or aren't even open to me mentioning it, because I'm finding people who know me in person, a lot of them aren't Catholic, although guardian angels aren't just Catholic. But that's where I became more introduced, because they're more prominently known among Catholics as just normal. I mean, it's part of the history of Christianity. And prior to Christianity, all religions, people of all religions are aware of and believe in angels, and then others don't. But I have had experiences with my angel, but I'm increasingly have been all through these years, still slipped back into, such as when I was on this Patmos, having to gut this farmhouse and redo it because I got myself duped into sort of a raw deal. But intended by God, I will have to say, all intended and allowed, because I had great things I had to learn. I had to be so stripped down. I had to be so stripped on Patmos, in exile, and have my spiritual life stripped and into my nothingness. And but toward the end there, when I had this accident, it was on some stairs I was installing, and I was correcting one aspect that I had done correctly to make it right. But I had called the stairs just for fun and as a reminder of God always, the stairway to heaven. But I had an accident in which I flew off the stairs. I never did touch ground, so I didn't fall down the stairs. I flew and hit what we think maybe was a door jamb at the base, but up high. I never did touch ground until I fell. Hit backwards on the base of the stairs and then fell forward. We followed blood patterns. But when I was in the trauma center, neurologist said, it was just a miracle that I lived, that I wasn't paralyzed, no bones were broken. I did have brain bleed, and they didn't know if they were going to have to do brain surgery or not, but as it turned out, they didn't even need to do that. Family member came. I was able to leave earlier than probably what I should have been allowed to leave, but it ended up all right. But I did get better rest at home. But even one of the nurses said, you must have a powerful guardian angel who got you out of your house, because as a hermit I live alone, out of your farmhouse, out the gate and up the road for someone to find you, because I was unconscious all that time. From the moment that I was flying in the air and looked down and realized I wasn't even going to be able to hit the step to break the fall, my last thought was, this is not going to be good, and it wasn't. But anyway, somebody found me up the road covered in blood, got me down. That's when I started having some in and out conscious awareness. Got the EMS and carted me into the trauma center. But anyway, I knew that was Beth. And I also knew that there was a reason why God allowed that accident to happen. It was toward the end of one of the last things I needed to finish so that I could sell, because I was by then on borrowed money, trying to get this house completed so I could sell it and pay back everybody and get more into civilization and start the new phase. But I knew that my angel was forewarning that, but also having me a good, strong wake-up call as to how far I had gotten distracted. Partly, yes, maybe I needed some of that because I had to learn so many manual labor skills of things I had never done before, using power tools I had never touched before. And even my spiritual father had written to me and said that you had many angels helping you. There was no human way that anyone your age with your bad back could have humanly redone that house without angelic and supernatural help. So, and I knew that. But anyway, other times my angel has come has been more in to chastise me or to remind me, to help me. I try in my life now to not have, I say, please don't feel like you have to appear. And if you want to get to know your guardian angel or whatever, I don't recommend being doubting like I was and practically daring, like prove it to me. Because it takes great effort. It takes effort, and it's not necessary. Just say a prayer after this video. Say a prayer and say you want to get to know your guardian angel. Thank your guardian angel. Thank God for giving you one. If you feel a need to meet, say, if it be your will, Lord, show me my angel in some way. At night before you go to bed, always bind Satan from your dreams, but say, if there's anything you want to teach me or tell me, if it's too much for me in my waking hours that I'll be too busy not to pay attention, then show me in the night in my dreams or in some way like that. Pray to start being alert to your guardian angel and to all the ways that your guardian angel helps you in the day, and that other people have guardian angels, and be kind to other people, loving and appreciate, because they too have guardian angels helping them, guiding them. They are with us from the moment we have souls until the moment we leave this life. They lead us on into heaven. My mother was anti-Catholic, sort of reared that way, educated that way, but continued that way all through her life. But a couple of months or so before she passed, she told me that a woman kept coming to her in her dreams, and I would have her tell me about these. And And I said, Mom, I think that's your guardian angel trying to help you. The woman was always trying to help my mother accept death coming. And my mother wasn't ready to die. She didn't want to die, and her mind was alert, but her body was very, very ill. So, I told her a little bit about my guardian angel, and she wanted, well, does mine have a name? And I said, well, pray and ask your angel, ask her, this woman, before you go to sleep or something, or even just now, just say, if you have a name that I can have, then tell me. Well, that night she had a dream. A woman came back to her, and her name was Phyllis. So my mother wanted me to look up, what does Phyllis mean? Well, it means good friend, dear friend. So anyway, it's a benefit to us if we utilize and are grateful to and appreciate our guardian angels and let them teach us many things, and know that they're helping us and they want us to go to heaven. Their abilities and duties are numerous and numberless, infinite. So anyway, this is my story of my guardian angel. I might talk a little bit more in detail more about ways in which my angel has helped me and other spiritual matters. I'm trying out doing this by video because my cousin today, I realized I'd never really talked to her about angels, or about her guardian angel, and she wanted to know more. And I said, I think that part of this phase in my life I'm to fulfill my mission. I am to fulfill my mission, and I have many mystical experiences. I am a hermit as my vocation for this lifetime, because it's a vehicle, it's a protective anonymity place for me, and is very suited to my chronic pain, my suffering, but also as a mystic. And I'm born a mystic, so I am a mystic. I will be a mystic. I won't always be a hermit. For this lifetime, yes, but otherwise, no, I won't have that vocation in heaven. But I will always be as I am, as God created me. So these mystical experiences or events, I've noticed over the years, if I try to tell something to someone who knows me or in person, they block off. Or they immediately, I can see they're thinking this woman is a little bit off, or here we have another emotional crazy lady, off the deep end, or there can be envy that's aroused in them, like, well, why don't I have this stuff? Well, that's beside the point. I don't know why, but I will have to say for the most part you don't want it because you get a lot of persecution. And it's a big responsibility even now, like, I'm just testing out sharing things. I'm going to start sharing things in this manner anonymously because I keep sensing I need to fulfill my mission, and why would God give me all these different aspects of the supernatural life? And recently my spiritual father, who's very, very elderly and can barely write and is bedridden for the most part, wrote and said, I never want you to lose touch with the supernatural. Of course, that's something that as a mystic I can't unless I distract myself, which is quite easy to do for any of us, is to get distracted by the world. So anyway, I'll probably try sharing more, and it also will be more convenient, such as my cousin. I can say, just look on the video, and I don't have to repeat this story a lot, and I have time to do others. So God bless His real presence in you.